How's it going, guys? Whoa, watch where I'm walking. How's it going, guys? So I'm standing in our shop here with these two Toro mowers that we've gotten a chance to run the last couple years. Toro sent these both out to us to try out. They wanted me to make videos on them and couldn't really pass up the opportunity, so hopefully bring some value for you guys. So this is the first one they brought us last year, is a Toro Titan Max. It's a 60-inch deck, 25 horsepower engine on it, and no, 26 horsepower engine on it. We've put 188 hours on it. We got a chance to run it a good bit. This would be considered kind of a mid-grade machine, something for a large homeowner. It's a pretty good sized mower. Then the second mower here is it's a Toro Z Master 4000. This one we had just this summer. 44 hours on this one. This would be more of a commercial grade mower. Still a 60-inch deck on it. A little bit bigger engine. I believe it's 31 horsepower. I kind of wanted to compare them. It's not really fair to compare these two mowers because it's a whole different price range, different goals with them, but I'll at least show you guys some of the features, certain things we liked more on each of them, whether or not we would buy one, and if we were shopping for a mower, what we would be looking for. With the Titan Max, I like this machine. It's simpler. Kind of the first thing we noticed when we ran it was it rides a little bit rough. There's not a lot of suspension on it, and we actually got a seat upgrade for it, so I would highly recommend, if you're gonna get a Titan Max, get something with a suspension seat. It makes a huge difference just to have a little bit of suspension. The big back wheels, I guess, would be your main bit of suspension. We did take some air pressure out of those. That seemed to help a lot too. Yeah, with this one not being as fast, you're not gonna feel the bumps too much. I mean, it goes plenty fast in the yard. It's basically just traveling between yards where you're gonna really get up to speed, because at least for us, we don't mow our yards until we actually need to mow them, and then you can't go too fast or it's not gonna mow right. I really like how you can adjust the mower height. It's really clear, easy to pick a height here. You just drop this pin where you want it. So if you want, go the whole way down to 1.5 inches right here. When you're sitting in the seat, you just got this foot pedal. Lift this up and it'll drop the whole way down. So it's nice while you're mowing. If you need to lift over something, you just put your foot on that pedal, lift it up, and it goes the whole way up to 5 inches. The one thing I didn't like so much, there's no real fuel gauge on it. You just have this little sight window. You can see the fuel line there. It's just not super clear. I like the simplicity of this machine. It's really easy to reach everything. It's a belt drive machine. See the belt coming from under the engine there. We've had some issues with this belt popping off. I guess when we're working it too hard, we're a little bit hard on the mowers. We used to have a grasshopper as a front mount deck. That was what we were always used to having. It's kind of nice for reaching underneath trees and everything. I wasn't sure what we would think of a mid mount like this. I ended up actually liking this more. It's kind of nice. 99% of the time, it's actually better to have the deck directly underneath you. You can go around trees and stuff a lot easier. You can kind of just circle it rather than having to go forward and back to circle a small post or something. It seemed like our grasshopper we had before was a little bit quicker to scalp the ground if you go over some rough parts of the yard. This rides over those a little bit better with it being a mid mount. So then the Z Master mower, you can definitely tell they have a lot more steel in this unit. The whole frame is heavier. You see the size of the main frame there compared to this. It's just quite a bit different. The back wheels on this one are a little bit bigger diameter. Front wheels are a little bigger. And the actual thickness of the deck, there's a decent bit more steel. It's just a heavier deck on it. Yeah, you're definitely getting a beefier machine. This one's belt drive as well. We haven't had issues with the belts popping off on this one. Not sure why that is, but if it's just a little more stability. That one, the deck hangs on chains there. Whereas this one has these metal pieces. It's a little bit more stable, I think. And this one's set up with an electric automatic lift, so you just have that control right here. So that's pretty nice. It seems to work pretty reliably. And you got the same mower height adjustment there. Just got to use the electric lifter to adjust that. For me personally, I really like the foot pedal. It's a little bit quicker. If you're coming up something in the yard, you want to lift the deck up, just got to put your foot on that pedal. It lifts really easily. This one's a little bit easier on you, but it's really not too bad with the foot pedal. Yeah, if you're running it all day, being able to lift it with a push of a button like that's pretty nice. The big difference you'll notice with this mower is there's suspension on the entire, it's the seat down to your feet. This is all a shock system. So it's really nice. The ride with this mower is definitely improved over the other one. It goes a lot faster, so it's nice. You can hit bumps. It's also got the bigger tires, so that helps a little bit too with absorbing shock. And with just 5 more horsepower in the engine, you definitely notice a difference cutting through tall grass. We could tell a difference, although that one does pretty good for what we need it most of the time, so I wouldn't complain too much. This one has a fuel gauge you can see right down beside the seat. Generally feel like you're sitting just a little bit higher on this mower too. which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. It doesn't seem like it's top heavy. This one would be slower to roll because you got a lot of weight on it, but your seat's up a little bit higher. We had one issue with this mower with that electric lift. For some reason, when we lift it up all the way, it would get jammed. I don't know why, and then we'd have to pry on it a little bit to get it to get back down. Our dealer fixed that up for us, so it was not an issue. They had something they had to change to make it work. So our local dealer would be Sensnigs. They're in Farmersville, PA. Great guys to work with. That's one thing, we like the machines. It's also good to have a good local dealer to back them up. So we're definitely not gonna be keeping both of these mowers around here. If I was shopping for a mower, we would definitely lean towards the Titan Max just because of the lower cost. We generally mow maybe 4 hours a week or some extra if we're doing pastures and stuff, but definitely would be nice to have the heavier mower. We're pretty hard on them, but I think for the amount of hours we use them, the Titan Max would be perfectly fine. If we were looking to mow a bit more yard or had a little bit more in the budget to spend on a lawnmower, I think the Z-Master is definitely a worthwhile upgrade. So yeah, I wanted to thank Toro for the opportunity to run these mowers. So this morning, we noticed there's a heifer that's not quite feeling well in the middle of the heifer barn down here. I wanted to check her and also bed that barn up. It's getting a little bit messy. This time of year is the worst for these heifers, especially in these first couple pens in the heifer barn. Just something with the temperature changing so much, it seems like it throws them off. We just have to keep a really close eye on them. We had to treat some of these with antibiotics this week. Never quite know how to manage the curtains because you want them to have fresh air, but you also don't want them to have too much air. Right now we have it kind of closed up. It's pretty chilly. Want to keep it dry. I need to bed this up again. Try to keep them as clean as we can. That helps. I'd like to find a solution to make this better. I don't know if we could put some positive pressure tubes in. I've seen on some farms they'll put a fan in from the outside blowing into a plastic tube that has little holes in the bottom of it so it can throw fresh air down right where they're laying. Kind of keeps it moving but not moving too much. That's something we thought about putting in our calf barn, but also maybe this barn needs something like that. I don't know. Once we get into more consistent winter, it seems to get a lot better. The spring and summer are not usually a big problem. It's just the fall. Really want to try and prevent these issues rather than having to treat them once they're sick. It's not the best. There you go, ladies. This 151 is the calf that wasn't up eating this morning. Once you get up to these 4 to 6 month old heifers, it's rare that they have any sickness. They're usually pretty healthy and stable at this age after they get through the transition from the calf barn. Yeah, I just took her temperature. She has a fever, so I'm gonna give her an antibiotic and then also a fever reducer pain med to help her feel a little bit better. Brought the skid loader with a manure bucket. Just want to scoop this manure that the robots push to the end of the barn. Try to do this every week. Usually my dad does it. We were having trouble with the robot getting stuck early on because come down through here, pick up shavings, and then try to turn at the end. and there'd be a pile there that would stop it from being able to move right. I have the route set up that they stop and back up, and it just ends up making some piles at the end. It's not too big a deal. I'm just gonna remove that stopping board there, and then we can scoop it out. Just gotta make sure we check the corners for weasels or, oop, got something in here. Look at that, Clover Farms chocolate milk. So I'm gonna scoop this up, and then we'll just rinse the 2 robots off. I try to do that once a week, clean them up a little bit. Give these a good rinse every week. It helps to keep the wheels spinning easily, get manure built up in between the frame and the wheels, and then also in this ring that's supposed to spin along the walls. That'll do it. It doesn't need to look perfect, but mainly want to get all that manure out of there. All right, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I'm gonna work in my office for a bit and then feed the cows again. Hopefully it was a semi-entertaining video. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys.